Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth pairing.
You had a pretty good feeling about them.
Well, yeah, I mean, I like I said earlier, I liked our team. I like our team. I like where we were at mentally and physically. I just thought we had a great, off season, from the summer and then into August camp and everything. So I knew we were ready to play, and we were playing a good football team. And I think especially early, getting settled in and adjusting to the speed of the game because no matter how hard you try, it's hard to simulate in practice, going against each other, going against scouts, and that sort of thing. To get acclimated to how fast the game is, and again, Monmouth is a good football team, and I thought they played well, especially early. They started taking some chances there in the second half. When they were going for it on fourth down, and our defense did a good job of stopping them down there. But, other than we didn't start out, Chip, like we'd like to have started offensively. We missed the first play up, and we came within a foot of probably, starting the game off, the season off with a 75-yard touchdown pass. So, so we didn't start out. We didn't finish drives like we need to. Defensively, we gave up some, initial third downs there, and, but buckled down and forced punts there. So the first quarter ended zeros, and then Jalen Lane's punt return sparked it. But I thought we made plays. The big thing, again, I've said it a million times, is we didn't turn the ball over, and I told our team. All through August, or not all through August, but, the last week and a half going into the Monmouth game, just most games, first games are determined by turnovers in the kicking game. And you can look at other games, and I pointed it out, games that were played before us, how the kicking game affected it, how turnovers affected it. And you look at our game, Saturday there, nothing was more evident than the kicking game. The punt return ignited us. We got turnovers. We protected the ball. We made all our kicks. We covered good. We punted the ball well. And, we kicked off well. So just I thought, that part of the execution was really good. We made some first game mistakes that we got to get corrected. From a substitution standpoint, from an execution standpoint, all those things we got to get corrected. But overall, I was very pleased with the performance of our players.
Last week we sat here, we were talking about the matchup with a really good FCS team, and you look across the country and what happened with FCS versus FBS teams, and it just goes to show you that there is good football played everywhere, no matter what level you're playing at. I mean, Eastern Washington, Montana, East Tennessee, we saw a lot of those schools get victories, and a lot of times, we've seen it before. An FCS team comes in and they feel like, okay, we can hang around here long enough to make something happen. You warned against that last week, and I think your guys took heed to it.
Yeah, I think there was either 6 or 7 FCS wins over FBS teams this year, and especially in first games, because you prepare for everything that you think you're going to see, but there's always something that you don't prepare for because they haven't shown it before. And that's what happened to us a little bit in the first quarter, our offense against their defense. They were doing a lot of stunning and slanting with their ends and tackles, and they hadn't shown that before. So we had to adjust to that. And then with the transfer portal, it changes a team's makeup, with just a couple players. And, all these FCS teams are going into the portal just like everybody else is. So You know, it's hard to win. You know, and people say it all the time. Winning is hard in college football, and you know, that's why you celebrate every win, no matter who you beat. You celebrate it, and you know, we beat a good football team, and Monmouth will win a bunch of games this year, and you know, I'm sure they'll have a chance to get in the playoffs again and, you know, make some noise. So they're playing, you know, Montana. You mentioned it. You know, they played them last year, and it's just, you know, it's a good football league.
You know, the 1AA teams or the FCS schools, they all played some sort of schedule in the spring. Do you think that because there were so many, like you mentioned, there were 6 FCS wins over FBS teams this weekend, do you feel like that, you know, hey, they were playing 3 months ago, they were playing real games?
Yeah, you know, I think it, you know, and I asked their coach, I think it does help. I asked him, you know, how he liked the spring, and he said that, you know, it was different than a spring practice because, you know, we had their attention, and, you know, there was something to play for at the end of each week, and, you know, he kind of liked it, you know, so they play, you know, real games, get acclimated to that. You know, they take a couple months off, and, you know, now they're back playing again. So I would say that it probably helps them unless, you know, they had a bunch of injuries, you know, and they did not. They lost their tackle. He told me they lost their tackle in August to a season-ending injury. He said, but that was the only injury that they had, you know, through the spring season and then August.
Yep, this week it is Virginia Tech week. The Raiders take on the number 19 Hokies at 1 o'clock Central Time on Saturday at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg. We are coming to you live tonight from the Boulevard Bar and Grill, just across from campus at the Boulevard, the greatest sports bar and grill in Murfreesboro, so stop by today. We'll take a timeout, our first time out of the night. More with Coach Rick Stockstill after this on the Blue Raider Network from Learfield. Tonight presented by Middle Tennessee Electric, your locally owned electric cooperative and trusted energy advisor. And Coach Stock is here. Let's kind of look at some of the first half. Coach, as you mentioned, didn't score any points in the first quarter, but you did get the ball back on a punt late in the first quarter, and or actually it was the first play of the second quarter. And Jalen Lane, 70 yards on the punt return, and you know you've got all the math. You know when you, as far as scoring a defensive touchdown as opposed, and then you add on a special teams touchdown, about the percentages of winning a football game. Those special team scores are like gold.
Yeah, because it's a non-offensive play, and it gives you an opportunity to ignite really your whole team, because there's so many defensive players, there's so many offensive players on a kicking unit, and it just kind of brings everybody, ignites everybody there together. So that was a big play, and Jalen did a great job of making the first two guys miss. Then he got a great block by Jermichael Thompson down there and some others that, and then he just outran everybody. So it was a huge play in the game and really ignited, got everybody going. The defense, played better. The offense played better, after that.
Yep, Monmouth came back to their credit and answered with a 79-yard drive, and Tony Muskett, their quarterback, he's a tough character. He's going to win a lot of football games for them.
Yeah, I thought I was impressed with him. And going into the game, I was impressed with him. He's a good football player, and we did a really good job defensively at keeping the ball in front of us, except on that play. We got one over the top. They threw the bubble screen and go, and they got behind us there in the secondary. So other than that, we did a really good job defensively of not giving up a lot of explosive plays. We won the explosive play battle 8-3, for the game, and was a big part of the reason why we won also. But, give them credit. They did a nice job of coming back.
Punt returns, we talked about that. Then you get down to the last 5 minutes of the half, and you're basically in a 7-7 game. Monmouth has the ball, and on back-to-back Monmouth possessions, you're able to get a fumble recovery and turn both of those into points going into halftime, and that gave you a ton of momentum.
Yeah, it did, and I talked to the team Sunday about it. Getting turnovers, getting takeaways are great, but if you don't do anything with the takeaway, then you're really squandering that opportunity. And, with the 4 takeaways that we had, we scored 29 points, off those 4 takeaways. And we didn't turn the ball over, so we didn't give up any. So, each takeaway we got, we converted it into touchdowns. You want to score points, field goal or touchdowns. Obviously, you want touchdowns, not field goals, but if you get a takeaway and then offensively you go 3 and out, it doesn't really do a whole lot of good in getting that takeaway. So our offense did a really nice job of taking advantage of those takeaways.
The first one, Jordan Ferguson forced the fumble. Richard Kinley was able to get the recovery. It turns into a 4-play, 58-yard drive, and Bailey Hockman hit DJ England Chisholm right at the pylon. And, Coach, I didn't realize just how good a throw and how good a catch that was until after the game and looking at it back on video from the end zone. I mean, Bailey put it right down the chimney, and DJ did a great job of getting a foot in.
Yeah, I wish DJ would have leaned on him, pressed the corner a little bit more to give Bailey some more sideline to drop the ball in there. But Bailey made a beautiful throw. It was a great throw, and then DJ did a nice job concentrating on the catch, making the catch first, and you're always aware of the sideline and know how much room you've got. But I thought DJ did a really nice job of catching the ball first, and then, like you said, getting his foot in bounds and getting past the pylon to get in the end zone.
And Monmouth came back down the field, picked up a first down, got the ball to about the 35-yard line, and at that point on a 2nd and 7 play, it was Marley Cook who knocked the ball out, and Jordan Ferguson picked it up. And that gets you the ball with 57 seconds to go, and here you go with a short field at the plus 35. It only took 2 plays, but Bailey found Jalen Lane wide open. What happened on that play? Obviously, there was a busted coverage.
Well, we ran the bubble screen and go too, crack bubble and go, and Bailey got flushed out of the pocket, and scrambled, moved to his left. But they bit like we did. They bit on the bubble on the quick screen there, and that enabled Jalen to get over the top. And probably when Bailey slid, moved, escaped to the side there to the left, that probably even drew up, their defenders a little bit more. But it was just a bubble screen and go, and Bailey put it out there, and Jalen, concentrated on it and finished the catch.
Yeah, Wes and I talk about it a lot when you've got the ball coming out of the second half. If you can kind of go 2 for 1 and pick up points there at the end of the first half, which you did, gave yourself a lot of momentum going into the locker room.
Yeah, that middle 8 is important. And, the last 4 minutes of the half and the first 4 minutes of the start of the third quarter. So, hindsight, when they kicked off, to start the third quarter, and they were offsides, and moved it back. Hindsight probably should have taken the ball at the 30, but, I felt good about the game, and I wanted to get our kickoff return team some work to see if we were going to be able to, maybe return some kicks this year. So that particular play didn't work out very good, and we started on about the 15. Then we didn't do anything with it. We punted.
Raiders led 21-7 at the half. We'll take a break here. I want to remind you, first of all, the Murfreesboro Post is Rutherford County's local newspaper. Subscriptions are just $20 a year for 52 issues. Visit online at murfreesboropost.com. Today, we'll have a second half reaction of Middle Tennessee's 50-15 win over Monmouth with Coach Stock after this on the Blue Raider Network from Learfield, IMG College.
Week, our Blue Raiders go the extra mile to make sure they're at their very peak. At Sunbelt Bakery, they do the same thing to make sure their granola bars are at their peak. Every week, Sunbelt Bakery brings new batches of granola bars from their bakery to your neighborhood. That's why Sunbelt Bakery's granola bars taste like they just baked them. Because they did. Try a Sunbelt Bakery granola bar today and taste the difference. Sunbelt Bakery. Bakery fresh taste. No preservatives.
Put Lee Company on your team and you'll always be ahead of the game with home maintenance, improvements, and repair. Sign up for a Lee Company home maintenance plan to have your heating and air conditioning system tuned up twice a year. In addition, you'll receive a comprehensive electrical and plumbing home inspection, plus member-only discounts and priority service, all for as low as $8.25 a month. For the very best electrical, heating, air conditioning, and plumbing services, call Lee Company at 615-867-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic is proud to be the official medical group of MTSU Athletics. We all win big when we work as a team for better health. Just like MTSU's athletes and coaches, our healthcare professionals work tirelessly to make our community proud. At MMC, we really are true blue. MTSU is our hometown team, and your health is our mission. Visit mmclinic.com or call us at 615-893-4480.
It's a new season. Get ready for more men's and women's college sports excellence. Trophies will be awarded in June to schools who take the top spot in the 2021-22 Learfield Directors Cup. The premier award recognizes one winning institution in all competitive divisions. Follow your favorite team's progress as seasonal standings are announced at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at directorscup.org. The crowning achievement in college athletics.
The MTSU Alumni Association is proud of its more than 130,000 living alumni who are leading, teaching, entertaining, researching, flying, farming, nursing, and more worldwide. Every Blue Raider accomplishment adds value to your degree. Are you connected to the MTSU National Alumni Association? Visit mtalumni.com to share what you're doing, update your information, and see how you can be involved and informed. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
You trained for this all year. endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now, you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance, all without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
Welcome back into Rick Stockstill Live tonight from the Boulevard Bar and Grill. Blue Raider fans, get ahead of the game with the best home services team in town for your heating, air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, and home improvement needs. Lee Company is the team to call, 615-867-1000 or leecompany.com. Next week, we're back on our regular schedule on Monday night at 6 o'clock, and Labor Day weekend always has schedules up in the air just a little bit, but it's always the opening weekend of the college football season, with Middle Tennessee leading 21-7 going into halftime and coming out to start the third quarter. After an exchange of punts, the Blue Raiders took the ball 65 yards and got it down to the 10, and Coach at that point gave the fans a little different look with the Wild Raider look in Shaton Mobley back there.
Yeah, it's obviously we've done that before, but it's something we felt like we could take advantage of, with Mob, and Mike Dillio comes in on that play, and we got some other packages off of it, but Shaton came in and did a really nice job. Two physical, hard-nosed vertical runs, did a nice job. Obviously, the offensive line did a great job also, but Mob did a nice job on it.
Yep, ran two plays out of it. He ran them both, and like you said, there's a multitude of things you can do out of that, especially when you have Mike DeLillo out there at a wideout spot, because, that just makes them have to cover a little bit of everything.
Yeah, especially when we'll, start moving Mike around or the other quarterbacks around and, get them involved a little bit in it. So, it just gives you, another dimension to your offense, another weapon, so to speak. And, again, we executed it really well.
Yep.
And we've done it. They've done a good job with it during camp also.
Yep. You got the score there with Mobley. They came back, scored, made it 28-15, went for two, got it. You guys, after you score on Teldrick Ross with his pick six, and another, one of those plays that's kind of a pick-me-up, and not only giving your team that extra energy, kind of put some doubt right there in Monmouth's mind. They'd cut it back to 13. They'd gone for two, gotten it, and all of a sudden, immediately, you snag them with that.
Yeah, Teldrick played really well, and he's played very consistent. His entire career here, he's such a good person, just a great young man, and who I love coaching. I love being around him, and I was glad to see him. He got a start and out there because we had a couple other guys out, and he came in and did a really good job, and was happy for him. That was his first career interception, obviously his first touchdown. But again, you saw the response of our bench, the response of our players, and how excited they were for him as well. So that was a big play.
C.J. Wyndham gets a touchdown. Martell Petaway ended up getting a touchdown. You had another fumble recovery from Stanley, and ended up the night with 4 turnovers. And when you can go into game 2 of your season and you are +4 in the turnover column, that's one of the things I look at with any team is what's their plus minus in turnovers. And if they're on the plus side, they're a pretty good football team.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's the number one determining factor most of the time in who wins the game. And our guys did a good job. We did a great job offensively in the red zone. I think it was 4 out of 5 times, and the last time there, it was going to count against us, but I took a knee down there just because I didn't want to. There's no need to embarrass those guys and scoring another touchdown with a couple minutes left. So on statistically we're 4 out of 5, but in my mind, we were 4 out of 4.
Yep, and on the other side, Monmouth scored 15 points. They were only in the red zone one time. So what does that say about your defense of being able to snuff them out in the middle part of the field? Because it was one of those interesting games where both teams had the ball several times in that no man's land, upper 30s, low 40-yard lines where you're too close to punt and too far to kick. So there were several fourth downs that were gone for.
Yeah, and I think one, to answer your first part of your question about our defense in the red zone, we did a good job of not giving up big explosive plays, so they didn't have the opportunities to get down there. And then I think, just probably the analytical side of it, because, I asked Brent, I asked him, I said, why do you think they went for 2? Because the chart says not to. And, he had that analytical book at FAU that they went, and he said anytime you're a huge underdog, the book says to go for 2, to go for it on fourth down, no matter if it's 4th and 7 or 4th and 1, when you're a bigger underdog, you take more chances. And I think that's probably why you saw them, go for 2 there, and then the times that they went for it on fourth down, on the minus side of the field.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, and defensively, your guys did get the ball back on downs. And you mentioned Teldrick Ross. You also had DeCorian Patterson stepped up, ended up with 8 tackles on the night. Teldrick Ross had 7. And those are guys who kind of got put in positions that you had to do a little shuffling around in your secondary.
Yeah, we had, 3 guys out, and, but those guys came in. I thought DeCorian, was solid. He gave up he let the slant get inside of him, on the play before their touchdown pass. But he did a good job. He tackled well. He kept his composure. And then Teldrick, same thing, did a nice job. He kept the ball in front of him, tackled well, didn't have a lot of missed assignments in the back end. And so I thought both those guys, answered the bell.
Yep, sure did. And the whole team did. It was a team effort as Middle Tennessee wins it by a score of 50-15 over the Monmouth Hawks. And up next,
Herring.
Today.
Yes, sir. He is good to go right now down on the line.
Roscoe Brown. People you know. A name you trust. Go Blue Raiders.
Roscoe Brown. RoscoeBrown.com.
Hi, we're RJ Young. We offer technology solutions that power your business, school, hospital, church, law firm, and more. RJ Young will empower your office to be the modern office. That means an office that integrates technology as a business advantage, all to help you work smarter. From managed IT services, office equipment and technology, business process outsourcing, and digital communications, we're proud to be your one-stop for technology solutions that power your business. Come visit us at rjyoung.com. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating Middle Tennessee State University athletes. Experts in bones, joints, and muscles, and with more than 60 specialists in locations across Middle Tennessee, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit us at TOA.com or give us a call at 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, or TOA, the official team doctors for Blue Raider Athletics.
Any way you slice it, your game day won't be complete without soft, delicious Bunny bread and Bunny buns, an official corporate partner of Blue Raider Athletics. Whether you're tailgating with friends, cheering in the stands, or tuning in at home, count on Bunny to help tackle your hunger and give you energy. So pick up Bunny buns and Bunny bread today. It's sure to be a winner.
That's what I said. Bunny bread.
Middle Tennessee Electric proudly supports the Blue Raiders, and we're proud to power the scoreboard lights at Floyd Stadium. When it comes to the electric service in the community, you can always trust MTE to do what's best for our members. We serve by providing affordable, reliable, safe electricity and outstanding member services. Here at MTE, we serve to make life better for our members and their communities. Visit MTE.com to learn more. And about that scoreboard, well, light it up, Blue Raiders. Welcome back into the Boulevard, right across from campus here for Rick Stockstill Live tonight, and presented by Middle Tennessee Electric. And time to go up to the Blacksburg, Virginia area, and one of the real legends in collegiate football broadcasting, Bill Roth, who was the longtime radio voice of the Hokies and will be doing this week's game on television, joining us tonight. And Bill, how are you doing this evening?
I'm great, Chip. It's nice to visit with you and Coach, and we're looking forward to seeing the Middle Tennessee football team play at Lane Stadium for the first time here on Saturday.
Yeah, well, you know, we were supposed to have done this a year ago.
I know. Ask Coach, what's going to happen with that team? Is it going to be a makeup? I know that
So we're not
last
making
year's season was really messed up.
No, we're not making it up, which I think just kind of putting it off like, you know, we both played, I guess, but I don't think we're making it up.
So we'll see for sure. But, well, Bill, this Virginia Tech team, you know, I was reading a lot and seeing stuff online, and there a lot of terms are being used like old school, throwback, that especially with the defensive effort they put up against North Carolina, and folks were really kind of hearkening back to some great days of Frank Beamer and Bud Foster and those great defensive teams that they had. They just looked awfully tough on Friday night.
Yeah, that was kind of the feeling I thought after I did that game on radio for Westwood One last week, and it felt like a mid-'90s Lane Stadium in terms of the crowd, and it felt like a mid to late '90s Virginia Tech defense where it was almost impossible for the other team to protect its quarterback, and that was a good offensive line and a really elite quarterback that was here. And, you know, last year that North Carolina offense put up, Coach Justin Hamilton said, a zillion yards. It was really 600 and something. But they had a hard time stopping North Carolina last year, and they had a really good plan, as I'm sure everyone who watched the game knows, and they were able to get a really good quarterback on the move a lot and get him on the ground a whole bunch. And the atmosphere in the stadium reminded me a lot, you know, back, I'm sure Coach Stockstill remembers when those Virginia Tech Clemson games, it kind of felt like that, you know, where the crowd never stopped roaring. And I don't know if it'll be like that this Saturday, but it felt like a game that was played with an atmosphere from 20 years ago.
The matter of fact, Virginia Tech's defense had how many sacks? 6 sacks against North Carolina the other night, and for 32 yards. And again, they had the Carolina quarterback on the run more times than that. Yeah, you know, it's amazing how you never can make a definitive statement from an opening game, and that's something, win or lose, you can get into that. But I think the one big area where Virginia Tech clearly will have an improvement in this year compared to its team from last year is its defense. You know, they brought in Justin Hamilton a year ago. Justin's a former player at Tech, played in the NFL, but he played under Bud Foster. And he came back last year, and they didn't have a chance, like most teams, didn't have any spring ball. And he put a new defensive system in without really having any spring ball. And I think that hurt them a little bit. They've added a couple of people to this team, including J.C. Price as the defensive line coach. J.C. was at Marshall last year. And you guys know, Marshall's had really good defensive lines. Yep.
And and he was on that staff last year. And then Jack Tyler, who also played for Bud Foster, came on full-time as the linebackers coach. So there are 3 guys on that defensive staff that played for Foster at Virginia Tech, and this was their first game. And it was against a really, obviously, a Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback and a very experienced offensive line, and Coach Longo's a really good play caller, and I thought they did really well. The whole that offense to 10 points that's a day's work to get Howe on the ground and to stop that team. And so I think for that trio specifically, the way it played, the way that trio coached and the way those guys played says an awful lot about this year's team.
Yeah, and, they did that. They gave up only 10 points, gave up yards, but yards aren't points. And 354 yards, only 10 points. Then on the offensive side, Braxton Burmeister, I was reading and somebody called him that dirty word, a game manager, but he did a really, really good job. Threw for 169 yards, rushed for 42 more, threw a touchdown pass, got Tech in good positions, and got them enough points to get a win. And that's what you ask your quarterback to do, is go out there, find a way to win.
Yeah, I'm not sure that he's going to be an all-ACC candidate quarterback, but as long as he's not throwing the ball to the other team, they'll take him.
Yep. When you look at the run game for Virginia Tech, Jalen Holston had the biggest night with 49 yards. Did you expect to see a little more out of Raheem Blackshear and Keyshawn King, or is Holston penciled in to be the guy to carry the load?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a work in progress all season long for that team. They lost Khalil Herbert, who was their really lone rushing threat a year ago. And I don't know that they've made a definitive plan with their running game just yet.
As far as the receiving game with Burmeister, Trey Turner at one of the wideout positions had 4 catches. The tight end, James Mitchell, had 3 catches for about 36 yards on the night. So Burmeister has some targets. Do you, with what they did offensively the other night, what do you think their plan will try to be this week going up against a Middle Tennessee defense?
Well, I don't know specifically what their game plan will be, but Mitchell's their key guy in terms of as a receiver, as a tight end. They move him around. They put him in different positions. He's a really interesting pro prospect, I would think, because he can do a lot of different things. I think that, excuse me, to be candid, I think Mitchell might be the overall the best offensive player.
Yeah.
Just in terms of his skill set, and, Coach can fill you in more on that, or, Coach Schaefer can tell you more just looking at the film. Because Coach, they're the football experts, but when you look at the different ways that Fuente has used Mitchell, like where he lines up and how they get him the ball and what they try to do with him, I don't know that there's an elite 6'4" NFL receiver on the team. I don't know that there's a typical Virginia Tech back, an NFL kind of back. But I do think in Mitchell is a really unique guy that I'm going to be curious to see how they use him. And I think it'd be really cool to see what some NFL people would say. Like, where do you see him? Like, who could he help? And what NFL scheme would use a guy that could line up in different places?
And one thing you are an expert on is you've seen that atmosphere at Lane Stadium for many, many years, and it has developed in one of the unique atmospheres in all of college football. For our fans who are coming up, it's a whiteout game on Saturday. It is obviously a remembrance of 9/11. And what are our fans in store for as far as the atmosphere of if they have not been to Lane Stadium before?
Well, I hope they have a great time. I think the one thing that this fan base has done is they do a great job of welcoming fans from other schools. Excuse me, I'm tongue-tied tonight. I think that they'll welcome them to the Virginia Tech tailgates. So that'll be one thing. And then once the game starts, it's pretty epic.
Yeah.
The Enter Sandman, something to see.
Absolutely. Bill, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us tonight. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Thank you, Chip. Thank you, Coach. Looking forward to seeing you guys both up here on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
All right. Bill Roth joining us tonight. We'll take a time out. More with Coach Rick Stockstill after this as you listen to Rick Stockstill live from Learfield.
Hey, Blue Raider fans, this is Coach Rick Stockstill. Have you heard about the MTSU debit card from Ascend Federal Credit Union? This is exactly what you need for your busy lifestyle. Need some cash? Use this card fee-free at Ascend's 2 on-campus ATMs and at thousands of ATMs worldwide. Bank where the Blue Raiders belong. Ascend Federal Credit Union, exclusive credit union of Blue Raider Athletics.
Ascend is federally insured by NCUA. Visit us at ascend.org.
We recently talked to a world-renowned gemologist. The optic character of this ruby is brilliant, and the refractive index on this sapphire is simply superb. And judging by the writing on the top of this diamond, I'd say that it could be worth up to $500,000. I'll give it a scratch just to make sure.
Woo! We've got ourselves a real gem here.
Take it from the experts. The new September Instant Games are truly brilliant. See for yourself. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Every week, our Blue Raiders go the extra mile to make sure they're at their very peak. At Sunbelt Bakery, they do the same thing to make sure their granola bars are at their peak. Every week, Sunbelt Bakery brings new batches of granola bars from their bakery to your neighborhood. That's why Sunbelt Bakery's granola bars taste like they just baked them. Because they did. Try a Sunbelt Bakery granola bar today and taste the difference. Sunbelt Bakery. Bakery fresh taste. No preservatives.
Hey Blue Raider fans, this is Dr. Mark Hardison with Middle Tennessee Oral and Implant Surgery. We are so proud to be able to serve the Blue Raider teams and their families when they need wisdom teeth removed, dental implants, or other specialty oral care. Our mission is to provide health care as it should be, providing compassion, availability, and excellence to every one of our patients. We deeply appreciate the support of your business as we join in supporting our team. Let's go Blue!
What do you think of when you hear community, integrity, commitment, tradition, and partners? The folks at Sodexo know it's family, friends, neighbors, and coworkers. The people we live with, work with, share our world with, and the fans we love to serve. Sodexo is community. It's a community of more than 200 employees and nonprofit volunteers and the thousands of fans we serve at MTSU. Sodexo is a community of people who are committed to enhancing your game day experience. Sodexo, proud server of your game day concession needs and proud to serve the Blue Raiders.
The way we do work has changed. Where we work, how we work, and the day-to-day challenges we face as businesses have evolved. As organizations continue to adapt, RJ Young is here to help. We're your one-stop for technology solutions that power your business. Whether it's office technology and equipment, managed IT services, business process outsourcing, or digital communications, we can help make your workflows easier, faster, and more efficient so your team can focus on the core of your business. To learn more about what RJ Young can do for you, visit themodernoffice.com.
News Radio WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Welcome back into Rick Stockstill Live tonight from the Boulevard Bar and Grill. I want to remind you, True Blue fans, whether you're tuned in to the game on the radio, watching the game on TV, or sitting in the stands, stay up to date with Blue Raider football and this year's Football Game Day Yearbook and Digital Game Day Guide at goblueraiders.com or go to the Blue Raider Connect app. We did have a couple questions coming in from the audience. If y'all have any more, get them in here right now. First of all, from David, said it seemed like we started clicking in the second quarter. What changed that got things going? And part of that we talked about is you get that real jolt of electricity on the punt return.
Yeah, I think that was part of it. I think that was, and then just the, like I said earlier, just adjusting to the speed of the game and then adjusting to what they were doing defensively, up front with so much slanting with their defensive tackles and defensive ends. So we made some, we got, I don't want to say made adjustments because it was just our guys played better after they got adjusted to what was happening against them defensively. So I think that was the big thing, and just, got a little bit of momentum, got a little bit more confidence. And like I said earlier, the first games are always, it takes a little bit of time, especially when you're playing a good football team.
Brent Dearman, your new offensive coordinator, along with several members of the staff that have been here for a while, and Brent Stockstill, your new wide receiver coach. Talk a little bit about what it was. Was it different in the way that the plays get in, things like that, and how did that go as far as the communication from the press box to the sideline into the game? How did that go?
Yeah, our communication process was good. There was no issues there, and probably if you guys watch the game, in the past we've had 4 or 5 signal guys where each coach would signal to a specific position, and now this year we're not doing that, and the quarterback is communicating, the play to the offensive line. So, from a signal standpoint, we don't have as many guys doing that as we have in the past, but everything else was good. The substitution, the getting the play in, getting lined up. There weren't any issues there.
Yeah, when I talked to Dearman last Thursday, and I asked him, I said, how fast do you want to play? And because he's talked about that tempo is important with what he is doing, he said as fast as the officials will let them play, and as fast as they can without making mistakes. Was the tempo to your liking, or would you like to see it faster, slow it down, or use variable speeds?
All the above, but
yeah.
We weren't very fast Saturday. A lot of it was we weren't efficient enough on first down, and to be able to play fast wherever you're at, you've got to be efficient on first down. If you watched the Ole Miss game last night on TV, they were really fast, and it was because of how efficient they were on first down. And when you can do that, it makes second down shorter. It makes third down a lot easier calls, and you can be faster. So we'll play faster when we, become more efficient on first down. But at times, our tempo was good, but if you put it in the whole pie, we got to be faster. And we didn't have many plays. I mean, we only had 29 plays the first half and 31 plays the second half. So 60 plays for the game.
That's not a ton.
I mean, that's an NFL game. And so you'd like to be more up in the high 70s, low 80s.
Yep. Now, when kind of combining the last two questions we talked about signaling in plays and playing with a tempo, when you have less people involved in the chain of communication, does that, by definition, allow you to play a little faster?
Not necessarily.
Oh,
because, the receiver's looking at this guy, he's got to play, because they're all being signaled at the same time. Maybe even a little slower, now the quarterback has to communicate to the offensive line, and then he has to get back and get set, in his alignment. So our play calls are a little bit shorter. That helps in the communication process, the signaling process, which enables you to go faster.
Another audience question. Vatek.
Yes, sir. All three of those guys will play, and all three of them did a nice job. Came in, and their skill set is all, a little bit different. There are some similarities, but their skill sets, are they all have their own unique differences. And I got a lot of confidence in Chase. I got a lot of confidence in Mike as well as Bailey. So we'll continue to play those guys. And it wasn't playing them in a disruptive manner. I didn't think. It wasn't like, it's not because we haven't made a decision. It's got nothing to do with that. It's all based on Chase can do some things better than Bailey. Mike can do some things better than Chase. Bailey can do some things better, than the others. So it's based on that and trying to, get the best play, and it's not disruptive. We practice it. It's not, a lack of confidence. Our team doesn't say, oh, who's the quarterback? It's nothing like that. It's just trying to, play the guy that gives us the chance to execute this particular play the best.
Similar question in the run game. I think the most touches anybody had was 7, but with Amir Rasul, Brad Anderson, Frank Pizant, Shaitan Mobley, Martel Petaway, all can be effective. Again, all guys have a different skill set. Would you like to see somebody get a hot hand and kind of separate themselves?
Yeah, I think so. And it goes back, Chip, that, I mean, you only had 60 plays, so that's not a lot of, choices of what play to call,
right,
what play to run. I mean, it was an NFL game. And, so when we do have 75, when we do have 80, when we do have 85 plays, we can establish a guy more. So, but we're going to need all those guys, to get through the year. And all 5 of them are really good players. I got a lot of confidence in all of them. And like I said, Mob goes in there, and in all actuality, we played 4 quarterbacks. And,
yep.
So he goes in there and does that. Amir can do the same thing. So those guys, we're just trying to take advantage, of their skill set.
When you look at film on Virginia Tech, what jumps out at you?
They're typical, they're big, in the lines. They can run, they're physical. I agree with the guy that called. I mean, there's not a guy that you would say this is a show enough, NFL player, but the quarterback is a good player. The running backs are good. The receivers are big and physical, and they block on the perimeter. They make catches. Their secondary. You watch that North Carolina game on TV. There's not a lot of separation between their receivers. Those windows were very small. And you talk about their quarterback for North Carolina. He didn't have a very big window to stick the ball in there, and just the heat, the pressure that they're going to put on the quarterback, because that front 7 is, those guys are difference makers.
Yeah, they had 6 sacks against North Carolina, who's a
and no
pretty good
how
offense.
many hurries.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you try to counteract that?
Well, we got to be, again, to me it goes back to first down. If we can be good on first down and efficient and stay out of predictable down and distance, stay out of second and long, stay out of third and long where they can pin their ears back and come after you, that always helps. But we got to do a good job of trying to, establish the run. We got to get the ball out quick. We're not going to sit back there and, let 20 and 25 yard routes develop, because we're not going to have time to get it off. And, but to me, it's going to come back to how efficient can we be on first down to stay out of second and third down predictable, long yardage situations.
Saturday at 1 o'clock Central Time, Middle Tennessee and Virginia Tech. We will take a timeout, wrap it up with Coach after this. You're listening to Rick Stockstill live from Learfield.
The MTSU Alumni Association is proud of its more than 130,000 living alumni who are leading, teaching, entertaining, researching, flying, farming, nursing, and more worldwide. Every Blue Raider accomplishment adds value to your degree. Are you connected to the MTSU National Alumni Association? Visit mtalumni.com to share what you're doing, update your information, and see how you can be involved and informed. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Murfreesboro, you can count on an award-winning service team for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Lee Company, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, recognized by Angie's List as a super service provider since 2008, is ready to assist with all your home maintenance needs. Heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, home improvement, and more. Experience the convenience of calling one phone number for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Call Lee Company today at 615-867-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic is proud to be the official medical group of MTSU Athletics. We all win big when we work as a team for better health. Just like MTSU's athletes and coaches, our healthcare professionals work tirelessly to make our community proud. At MMC, we really are true blue. MTSU is our hometown team, and your health is our mission. Visit mmclinic.com or call us at 615-893-4480.
You trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance, all without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
News Radio WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Final couple of minutes with Coach Rick Stockstill tonight as Middle Tennessee gets set to take on 19th ranked Virginia Tech. And Coach, one of the things I wanted to give you a moment in your post-game press conference, I noticed on your hat you had BB for Coach Bowden. Just remembering it was the first football weekend without your mentor.
Yeah, it's I know Florida State honored him, with putting Bobby on the field down there, and BB, Brent Brock, and just he meant so much to us and to me, and I wanted to put his initials, on there. First game that he hadn't watched in a long, long time, and he's a special man to BB and I, and to all the former players and a lot of people out there, and just wanted to honor him.
Yep, and the Blue Raiders go to Virginia Tech 1-0. Coach, get ready. It's going to be a lot of fun this weekend, and just go turn it loose.
Yep, looking forward to it, Chip. Thanks.
All right,
Thanks
Coach
for the Boulevard.
Coach Rick Stockstill tonight here at the Boulevard. And our show presented by Middle Tennessee Electric. Join us, our pregame show at 11:30 a.m. on Saturday. Kickoff at 1, right here on the Blue Raider Network from Learfield.